Critical Blast, where pop culture gets blasted.
Oh man, I gotta tell you, the 60s were a hip and happening time, man. Like, if if you remember anything about the 60s, you weren't really there, dude. It was just, there's no other word for it but a trip.
And a trip is exactly what we're going to take today as we go back into the world of Regina with Bloom #2, the latest book being crowdfunded from Hero Tomorrow Comics. And to give us all the scoop on that, we've got the head honcho from the company here with us. We got Ted Sikora. Ted, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, dude, now that I got my my psychedelic background there, I'm doing fantastic. Wow.
I went through quite a few of these before I thought, which one of these is least seizure inducing?
Oh, you got it, man. That's a beauty. I feel like I should follow it or something. Like, I don't know how that would even work, but
every once in a while it reverses direction and it freaks me out.
Yeah,
of course
I can't really, because of the mirror, I have a very hard time trying to match that motion, but I like it.
Well, so obviously issue 1 went really well for you guys.
Oh, it did. It was the most we'd ever sold on both Kickstarter and through Diamond. So yeah, we're around 5,000 copies, out there now sold.
So is that has that streeted yet? I mean, is it on the shelves or is it like coming up soon here?
I'm sorry, what?
Has that hit the streets yet?
Yeah, it came out on the 7th.
Okay, this month.
Yep.
Okay, cool. I lose track of these things. I know I was in it. I was just,
It's you got yours, right?
Yeah, it's in a pile somewhere, I think.
Okay.
I'd have to double check. I'm sure it must be. Yeah. I'm not in the same place I was before. So, a lot of my comics are still in my old digs.
Okay.
So I don't know what's piling up there and what's not. I find out when I go home every other weekend and open stuff up and have things to go here. I do have the page shared. And you've got another cool video on this one. So just get that right out of the way. We'll jump right into it here.
You know what I think? This world we're in right now is a fairy tale. What's real is on the other side.
Ramsey, mechanic by day, aspiring comic book creator by night, went into the woods and tripped. He was bombarded by bizarre and mysterious glyphs that he drew into his sketch pad and onto the body of his muse, Regina. And now, the journey to mind-bending madness continues.
Where are you going? Should we just head back to the cars?
I said I'll see you on the other side.
How am I even supposed to get over there? And what about all the stuff? Regina!
Bloom, the origin of a prophet.
Oh, groovy! Your art is crawling all over me.
Shit. What is going on with you?
What's going on with you? All of a sudden, you're a complete drip, baby. Maybe you need another limb to the head. Ah!
Bloom, written and created by Ted Sikora, with art by Butch Mappa.
How are you feeling, Ram Man?
You've never experienced a story so astonishing, so far out and away from the beaten path.
Where in the fuck am I?
Blast off with Bloom, the origin of a prophet.
I love the record scratch in that.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I mean that was a little out of sync, but it kind of still worked, I guess. It's sort of
It's
on my end. I don't know. Maybe it was fine where you were playing it.
videos don't play well through StreamYard unless they're in StreamYard. If you try to share it, then you're subject to all kinds of lag. I don't know why that is, but
Interesting. Well, anyway, yeah, but I mean, I'm
but
sure anybody would get the idea.
yeah, it's just the way that it is. Fortunately, there weren't any lip movements to go on. Look at that. I can't even get the text to pop up here now that I've refreshed the screen. God, seeing that whole 60s kind of vibe here is I was already in the mood for it because I did a binge on some cool and groovy. I don't know if you remember Josie and the Pussycats in Outer Space.
Not in outer space. No, a friend of mine's doing a book about the making of that movie, the live action.
Yeah.
Russell Burlingame. He's doing this. I always loved that movie.
I have not seen the movie, but I'm seeing so many fans of it pop up on the internet lately that it must be some sort of a modern cult classic.
It is. It really is. In fact, a friend of mine, when he told me about it, I'm like, you got to be kidding me, and I checked it out and I was like, yeah, it's just very cool, very hip, and it's not at all what you would think.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when it came out because it prompted me to make some phone calls, and I had a phone interview with Dan DiCarlo as the movie was premiering. So I've got that's in our archives because he created Josie. So it was kind of cool to get his take on things and things that he didn't know were going on. Of course, he's gone now, but gosh, I totally lost my train of thought here, and I haven't even been to the 60s.
It's that swirling background, I'm sure.
It's hypnotizing.
It's sort of breaking my concentration as well. I kind of just get drawn to it.
Oh, well, I can fix that if we have to do it. But so last time we saw Regina and Ramsey, they'd gotten into the woods and he'd painted her up, and things started to get weird. It looks like they're going to get a whole lot more weird now because it looks like she's actually doing some sort of spell casting of a sort. Or am I misreading it?
Well, she's not really casting spells. Because even in the issue 1, well, Ramsey's intention is that she's not a witch. So she, what? Do you mind turning that off? Because I'm actually
we can't think. It's weird.
I can't think with it. It's sort of like I'm hip. I'm just sort of like on a roller coaster, and I can't.
It was never the drugs that got us in the 60s. It was.
I haven't had enough of this yet. Not that would help. So yeah, the question is she casting spells? And you know what else, actually, and I so much appreciate the sentiment, but I think because of the way video compression is, all that motion makes it a little harder for the streaming because it has to recreate all this extra frame where now it's just black edges.
Yeah.
And it'll play, the rest of the video will be played cleaner, in theory.
So it's probably what was impacting the replay video anyway.
It might have been. Okay. So where are we headed with these characters? I mean, there was one review that's like, well, I'm interested to see what happens when they get back into town now and he gets back with his wife and all this. I'm like, they're not getting back to town.
He assumed a whole lot.
Yeah, they're this whole adventure is going to be in the woods between these two. So it's been hinted at. I don't want to give too much away, but Ramsey's like, after he gets her painted up and they get the photos taken, he's Regina just kind of runs from the photo shoot and says, hey, let's go over here, and Ramsey's like, well, we're pretty much done. But he follows her down and she finds this abandoned property in the middle of the woods. which comes directly from my childhood in Northeast Ohio. We'd go back in the woods behind our houses, and deep in the woods, we would find these old homes, that were just left and abandoned. And a lot of this went on in our area because the park system overtook neighborhoods, and the houses didn't, in many situations, get destroyed. So it became this area where a lot of activity, partying activity or alleged cult activity, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So all that is really based on local legend and, truths, actually. So that them finding that house in the middle of the woods, especially back then, that was kind of common in these parts. Now, did I answer your question, or were we?
Well, she's got something magic happening, and I'm not quite sure what it is, but she's definitely infected Ramsey with it, because we can see in the video he's gone a little. She kisses him, and he goes more loopy than he should go.
Right on. Yeah. You were referring to the video. Okay, I'm sorry. I was still thinking about issue 1. Yes. She kisses him, and then he starts seeing psychedelic everything. So yeah, this is sort of both characters trying to understand what's going on. And, it's not like Regina's in full control of anything this early into her kind of being taken over by this. She's not really taken over, tapping into what she's tapping into.
Yeah, she's sort of becoming an avatar of something larger, much the same way that, Apama has become an avatar of the Apama.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even if he's more in control than she is.
Yeah.
Which,
and
is something that may change.
For Ilya to be more in charge of anything than anybody. Yeah. But that's true. That's true.
So how much of issue 1 can we spoil here and talk about? Because there was one scene in there that really ties the whole world together here.
You can talk. Let's talk about it. Because we can just, at this point, it's out there, and let's go.
Okay. So something about these glyphs and something in Regina is definitely calling to her from this cosmic entity. And we don't really know what or why until she says, let's go deeper into the woods here and find a better spot to take these pictures. And where they end up at is, of course, this cliff face, which if you've read, Apama #1, exactly where that's at. That's where, that's where Ilya found the Apama information. So there's something about that particular spot.
Yes. Yeah. So in Apama #1, and I have some visual aids here. I can, let's see, I can pull that up. Yeah. All right. Ilya goes hiking. He's Apama's about an ice cream truck driver who unlocks the spirit force of the most savage beast mankind has never known and becomes a superhero. Well, he's also into hiking, and he goes hiking in the woods. And let me make sure I got it centered up. There he is. He sees this sort of spirit running, and he gives chase. There we go. And the chase takes him over a cliff. That would be here. And then he has the dream of when all the animals gathered together to determine who would be the king of the beasts. And it is shown that the most mighty, it seems like it's going to be the lion, but then when all the fights are done, this other animal shows up and said, you didn't even know I existed. I am the Apama. Hear me roar. And it says, as my prize, I will claim my solitude. So it remains undiscovered. But Ilya goes into this cave. Actually, I should have just kept going with the visual reference, with the PowerPoint here.
Yes.
He realizes he's outside of a cave and goes into the cave and sees this costume and this legend about how a human can unlock the Apama spirit by putting themselves into this pose. So he works forever on doing that, and then he does pull it off, and we have a series. He becomes Apama. In
Now-
Bloom, Ramsey has this dream. He's in the same woods, but in 1968, 69, he has the same dream of the animals. He was just camping, but he doesn't find the cave. He instead decides to become Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, and he's going to make a superhero based on this, the hero the animal that he saw. So he has the same kind of idea to do that. And the same night, he's bombarded when he's tripping by these symbols. And as an artist himself, he's fascinated. He's drawing them. He's sketching them all out very intricately. And it's the energy of these symbols that came in. When they came in, he forgets the name of the animal, which drives him crazy. The Apama, that it's like, and we've all had dreams back to back, and you kind of all of a sudden you might forget the entire other dream. So yeah. He's really mad about that, and he feels like these symbols are to be the antithesis of his hero, and he's going to make his villain based on that. And that's,
So I have questions.
Okay, I may answer them.
I know. It's frustrating, Ted, because I have these questions I know you won't answer and can't answer, because we've got this reverse chronology thing going on here, where we've met the hero in modern time, and now we're going back to 1969 to see the creation of his villain in the same spot where he will later go to become the hero. So there's this chicken and egg situation going on in my head 100%. Now. In much the same way that, I sometimes ask, hey, how many DeLoreans were there in 1955? I want to ask, was the costume hanging in the cave in 1969, or was it put there later?
Yeah, that one I wouldn't answer.
I didn't. I knew you wouldn't. because Regina knows that, that this Apama thing exists, because she put the glyph around her eye for it, because it's, when she said, I want to, let it know that I've always got my eye on it. I'm always watching it.
Yes. Yeah. Well, she saw it in his drawing, and she, so I mean, one of the things I most like exploring with these two characters, and it's probably conversations everybody's had to some degree, when you talk about what you believe or what you don't believe, and Ramsey is a hardcore atheist. Regina will believe anything, or she's open to anything.
Yeah.
Not that she necessarily blindly believes everything, but she's open to anything. So when he's explaining all this stuff as just some dream he had, some story, she's like, oh no, in her, there's much more to this than you realize, Bub. And so when she's hearing the story about the Apama, how it just slaughtered the lion and said, I want to be alone and just know that I exist, she thinks it's the worst thing she's ever heard. She's like, that thing sounds pretty, it's a good thing you forgot about the name of it, because it sounds pretty nasty, Yeah. So she has a much different view about what everything is going on, and that's something that's going to be explored the deeper they go. And obviously it's going to get pretty ugly.
We've never seen the Apama other than in the story of the animals at the dawn of time, sort of thing.
Correct.
So since we know that the Apama, though, is the cosmic force, if you will, behind Ilya's powers, will we at any time meet the antithesis force that is, pretty much empowering Regina? I mean, every animal has a predator and every animal has prey. So something preys on the Apama.
Yeah.
One would think.
I wouldn't. I mean, this is definitely all what's being laid out. But as far as, is it a specific entity? or is it many entities? There's a hint.
Okay.
So I don't want to give too much away on that.
Well, there were many glyphs, so now I'm going to start thinking along the many entities line, sort of a legion or an alliance. But there are parallels in mythology and in ancient religions. The one that comes to my mind almost immediately is Shiva and Kali. They're husband and wife, and they're trying to kill each other all the time. So I could see that sort of a love-hate relationship going on with Apama and Regina, because she had him. She could have killed him. She didn't. She marked him, and we still haven't seen the full ramifications of that mark on his body yet.
Right.
So when are we going to get that?
Yeah, well, this is the problem with the sort of at the indie level we're at here. We can, doing 4 issues of Bloom this year and a couple issues of Punchline. It's just going to be a really fun and murderous pace. I mean, it's going to be really hard. So I don't know the right time to release Apama because, right now we're doing Kickstarters with our Diamond solicitations. So to do Apama, I'd almost have to be running a second simultaneous campaign, or like as soon as the Bloom one ends, then the Apama one starts. But then there's all the fulfillment. This is a pretty small, in terms of people involved operation. So
you could always have somebody else do your fulfillment, Ted.
Yeah, that would be nice. However, every order is there's so much customization, because do you want them signed? Do you want, what did you add on? Did you add on all the tap dance killers? So a lot of people will add on Apama. Which covers did they pick? Like the time it would take for me to get all the material to somebody else to even do the fulfillment, let alone sign them and keep it all straight. I have a hard enough time keeping it straight as me.
I hear you.
I mean, I really do. It's fulfillment is tricky to get right. And I'm getting notes, here and there where people are like, hey, I was supposed to get this and I didn't, and and it's
that's
growing pains.
Fulfillment's tricky because that's our business now.
Yeah,
we're doing fulfillment. We've got
that's
4
right.
clients. Yeah, we're doing the stuff, but we've also I got the international prices down on stuff. So we got a client in Australia who's shipping a book through us, and because we're doing that, his shipping rate to the U.S. is $14 instead of or it's $12 rather instead of the 20-something that it would have been normally. But then I found out that there's people in America who ship to America who will pay the extra money to have somebody fulfill it because they'd rather spend that 2 or 3 weeks that they'd be packing up boxes writing the next book and drawing the pages. So I'm like, oh, fair trade-off. I didn't think of that. I'll take your money. Sure.
It's definitely something on my mind these days, and it's like, it's all really so new for us, to do a single issue Kickstarters. We've only done, this is our 3rd one now, but just trying to figure out that balance is
you're also in a unique position too, though, in that, your add-ons aren't just like, get the previous issue. You've got an entire catalog of books that you've got in warehouse that you would have to, go through and say, okay, somebody's added on, Apama 1 through 11. Go pull those books up and stick them in there.
Which covers?
Which covers?
Yes, totally, yeah. So I'm grateful we've had the support we have right now, and in terms of Kickstarter projects, we're coming out really fast. Like every other month is pretty quick for Kickstarter books. So hopefully we can find a happy medium here where we can, eventually. I think it's going to be good to get the whole Bloom story done before we really even go back into Apama with a because they're all coming out this year, and then we'll be able to focus again on the Apama story, because that really was coming to a head with Regina, and that'll be good because we'll have told her story. The thing I'm not really sure about, and I get asked this, what is the reading order now? Because should you start with Bloom, you know, or should you read Apama and then go back? It's almost like the the Star Wars thing, like
Yeah.
after Empire, then you go back and watch the trilogy, and then you watch Jedi, right? That's the sort of the
I think you can start with Bloom, but if you don't start with Bloom, then you don't read Bloom until after the Regina issue of Apama. So you're like, oh, we've met this new person. Here's her story, and then you can go back into Apama. But definitely, it looks like your bigger challenge isn't necessarily when to read Bloom, but in between which issues of Apama do you read Punchline?
Well, that really would follow after, because Apama 1 through 11, that gives you the origin of Tap Dance Killer. That continues directly in Tap Dance Killer 1 through 5.
Yep.
Then Punchline comes right after Tap Dance Killer 1 through 5. So that's all very linear. It's this other this other business with our psychedelic queen here.
Sure. I'm just thinking, when Apama 12 comes out, is that immediately after Apama 11, or is that immediately after Punchline? Because he's flowed right into that story now. He is peering.
Right. Apama 12 is made. It's fully illustrated, and it in continuity. There's no crossover stuff happening, so it can be at any point. Yeah, there's Captain Cockney's got us. You go 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6. Yep.
Wait, seriously? I would not have thought that.
You've not heard this before?
No, I have not.
Because you should not know that Darth is Luke's father when you're watching episodes 4 and 5.
Okay.
That would ruin it. You've got to do 4, 5, then you go 1, 2, 3, 6.
Okay, so oh my God, it's his father, and here's how his father came to be. Okay.
Yeah. So you'd ruin that big moment. In fact, that's one of the reasons it's a similar reason to why I didn't get so crazy about Rogue One or whatever. I just felt like so many of the beats from episode 4 were mirrored in Rogue One. I mean, you're breaking in, you're shutting down shields, all that. Like, if somebody does happen to watch these in order, that's going to make episode 4 very redundant. So
yeah. Well, is Rogue One sort of happening in parallel to that, though? Because Rogue One was sort of how they got the information to do exactly what they did in Rogue One.
Well, it comes right before 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
It comes. I mean, it butts right up to it. Like.
Orson Scott Card did a book. You're probably familiar with Ender's Game. Ender's Game. You would like Ender's Game. Everyone likes Ender's Game, but it's a science fiction thing, and it's a child genius, and he's recruited by the army because the Earth got invaded by ant people at one point, and then they went back, so they're trying to make sure that they can defeat them next time. And everyone thinks that they're being trained to be generals in the future when they grow up. These prodigy children that have been recruited by the army, and they play these video games where they're like giving directions to their ships on how to attack. And spoiler alert: Ender's the smartest of the smart, and he's the one who figures out, oh, we're not playing a game; we're actually giving orders to living people to sacrifice themselves for the good of the other people coming in behind them and blow themselves up. And he's leading his army as they're doing all this. From the safety of Earth. Well, one of his characters was called Bean, and Bean was like as smart as Ender, but you don't get a whole bunch of his story. So like several years later, he does what I call a sidequel. He tells the exact same story with all the exact same beats, but from Bean's perspective. It was called Ender's Shadow. So it's like, everything that's going to happen in the story, except that you didn't know all of this other stuff. It's a whole new story. Because of you're in rooms that you weren't in before, and you're talking to people you didn't talk to before, even as the main thing is playing out, and eventually where it's going to all end up at. That's kind of how I see Rogue One and Episode 4 happening.
Yeah, no, I didn't think it was an overlap as much as it was like right before it. But in any case, yeah, they're probably because I know it ends with that moment when Darth Vader's breaking in. And it's the same moment like when they started episode 4.
That is more of an immediate prequel. Captain Cockney Spock says it created a massive plot hole for Return of the Jedi. And he despises Ender's Game. Well, the movie, I haven't seen the movie yet, so the movie I'm not going to swear to, but the book was interesting, I thought. The book was, I used to call it the book I would give people who said they hate science fiction.
Okay.
To introduce them to science fiction. And how do we get started talking about Star Wars?
Oh, I brought that up, I guess, because we were talking about
order of events. Yeah.
The order of things, yes. When to watch.
When to watch, when to read. The real answer for when to read Apama and Bloom is as soon as you can get your hands on them. And if you haven't done that, if you haven't got your hands on them, this is the best place to go to right now. And sign up for one of these many different tiers that are going to be on here. I don't know if Kickstarter did it with your previous Bloom one, but the way they're doing add-ons now with both Kickstarter and Indiegogo, it's really changing the way people put their campaigns together.
Oh, it's great because you can make it so much simpler. You don't have to try to anticipate all the permutations of what somebody might want. And
exactly.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
It's pretty much, here's the book. Now, what do you want to add on to it?
Yep. Let's just do it that way.
And also, folks, by the way, all of you folks out there who are into the crowdfunding scene and are kind of like, these are my people. This is my place to go for comics now. Notice that Ted's created 6. He's backed 84. He's one of you. So
I am. Yes.
So reflect the love back. But this is the second issue, 32 pages. I knew it was a thicker book than normal, and $3.99 cover price here on this, but that's going to be the one in the retail edition. But it's a hell of a lot cheaper than $5 that DC's going to start charging now.
You know me in DC.
I do. I keep waiting for more information to come out about that, but it doesn't seem to be forthcoming yet.
No.
And if anybody doesn't know what we're joking about, Ted had the first Punchline character, and it's a clown, and it's a gangster enforcer, and he's murderous. So
yeah, there.
DC's,
so take that.
DC's copying him. So how many different covers do we have here for Bloom? I almost said for Regina.
Well, I think this time there are 7. And the thing we do is it's not like we price some of these in the $100 range or really. Yeah. There's a bouquet version where for $54 you get all the covers. Actually, there is one cover that's like a metal. There's only going to be 10 printed or 15. They'll all be signed and numbered. But that's other than that,
okay.
They're all.
When you say metal, are you talking like chromium? Or are you talking like metal? Because I'm hearing that a couple of different times this week now.
So I did metal for the first. We had one metal cover for the first issue, and what I'm going to do is do a survey with the people in that tier and see if they prefer metal or whatever they want.
Yeah, because one of the guys that I'm shipping for, we sit down before the campaign. And I'm like, okay, tell me about your book. No, not your story. Your sizes, your weights and measures, because that's all the post office cares about. And we worked all the prices out, and then he went out last week and said, "Hey, stretch goal, metal covers." I'm like, "Oh God."
Yeah, that'll change it all.
You just blew your weights out the window.
Right.
Yeah. Now, this is probably going to be the cover I get because it'll match the cover I got last time because I'm all about the word balloon covers. It's just a totally 60s and 70s thing that we've gotten away from.
When do you ever get cursing on a cover? Not often. So this is a
yeah. So that's not just for the Kickstarter demo picture. That's actually going to be on the cover.
Yep.
Well,
we're calling it our profanity cover.
It's not a retailer cover. Yeah.
No, that's Kickstarter exclusive.
So yeah, that'll be one to get. Now, I didn't even get to the artist on the first one here. Who we?
The first one was Benito Gallego, the staring image.
I see your signature under there too. Are you adding to the artwork this time around?
Well, I did. So he drew the face, and then I did the symbols. I colored it.
Those are some very intricate symbols. So I'm guessing you have a notebook that you keep these in order, and you know what they mean.
Yeah, yes, I do. Well, there's I didn't pull them from anything, so they're all sort of original to my mind, and yeah, as far as what they all mean and what they all do, that shall be revealed.
All right. And then, of course, this is the second cover now. This one is by Butch Mappa, who does the interiors. Yeah. That's the other reason why I like this cover, because I always like my covers to be reflective of what's inside. Not that, I don't mind getting an alternate cover that, like, hey, if Alex Ross does a cover, I'm probably going to pick it up.
Yeah.
What I don't like is when I get a really cool cover and I open it up and, that person's kindergartner did the interior art with crayon.
I agree. That's the worst.
Been there too many times. I'm like, you know what? Can I just get a copy of the cover for like a discount and take that home? The Cult. Now I can tell something's going to happen on this cover that probably hasn't happened anywhere else in campaign.
Well, we did it on the first one, actually. We had you could be drawn into the Cult cover. And I actually have I can show what that looks like on our issue 1. So, for a certain tier, you were able to be drawn
they were on the cover
as one of the Cult members. We asked everybody to send us photos of sort of a shocked, startled, or, creepy smile look, whatever it was. And that's who we got. So where you see those images on the current campaign, those are going to be replaced with actual drawn humans.
And this is also Butch Mappa, right?
Yes.
Yes, it is. And she's, beckoning you to come join the cult. That's a kind of a cool picture too. We've seen a lot of campaigns where you can get drawn into the book. Yours is the only one I've ever seen people getting drawn onto the cover. So
yeah, that's what I figured that was kind of a different thing.
So it'd be a very how many people have taken that one? Because I'm not getting into the pricing yet.
So far, 2. So there's spots available.
I'll find it. Only 2. Wow, you got 14 days left to get a lot more of them in there.
Fill it up. Yep.
And that's the thing with Kickstarter too. I mean, 14 days is 14 days. You're not going into a second 30 and then in demand and wait till it fills up. I know what he'll do if you don't get all 14 of them or however many filled up. He'll just draw extra faces on there that he makes up. He's an artist. He'll do that.
We can do that, yeah. And there's people who have backed other campaigns as drawn into a comic, and we'll offer those. Hey, would you like to use that appearance on the cover of Bloom? So
there you go. Mark Wheatley. God, I haven't heard of him in a while. Doing a full painted cover. That looks gorgeous. I might have to.
Yeah, it is. It's really, really something. And he's he's been a big friend to Hero Tomorrow Comics from way back. He actually helped us get our diamond deal.
Yeah, I think he worked with a friend of mine, Michael Tierney, on his Wild Stars comics a while back, long while back. So that's why I said I hadn't heard the name in a while. That's cover D. Cover E, you got Regina photo cover. Now this is more from that
Alicia.
Yeah, the photo set that you guys did. I'm assuming you didn't do another photo set for cover 2. You probably took lots of pictures for all the different
We took a lot of pictures, yeah. So this is from the same photo shoot.
Now, is this 3 or is this going to be 4 in total? Issues of Bloom.
Oh, 4.
Okay. And I'm just going to go out on a limb and say there's going to be 4 different variations of the cosplay cover as you go through the whole thing. So that'll make a nice little 2x2 frame on the wall there if you have all 4.
Yeah, right. It would.
Yeah, it would look very nice. And then we got Kanan White here. Kanan's always in big demand. Again, another gorgeous dance picture. And, there she's taking his hand. I almost missed the hand coming into the.
Yep. Yeah, I love what he did here.
Yeah, that really brings you into the book that way.
That's a virgin variant.
That's right. No bloom on the front cover there. And then this one here is the one that was in the video thumbnail from Marcella Basile. This is just as photorealistic as paintings can get. I love this.
Oh yeah, he's amazing. And when he showed me that layout, I was like, oh my God, that's like a movie poster.
Yeah, I mean, Bloom is very much a grindhouse comic, if you can have such a thing.
Yeah. That's what we're going for with the trailers for sure.
And then the Guru cover. Oh, David Bath Gallart? Am I saying that right?
Well, he did the colors, and it was Adrian Sabar who did the illustration. Yeah.
Got it. You're making it very, very difficult to pick a cover, Ted. And I know that's on purpose.
Well, you know what? If you, for as little as 12, shipping included, you get your choice of one of the first 4 covers, and you get a print. I have an example of the print here somewhere. Let me see, there it is. So I'm doing an illustration personally of, and it's because we're in the 60s era. I'm doing like an Andy Warhol style.
Yeah.
Thing where you get the 4 different images there, and I sign it. So you get, and that's limited to the Kickstarter backers. So that can only be, with this campaign. So for $12, you get the issue, you get the print and delivery free in the United States. That's
the other thing that I remember from your previous campaign was that your delivery was included in the U.S. So.
Yeah, I always there's a little bit of a disappointment when I click somebody's campaign and you think you're getting it for like $30 or something, and then it's like, oh, and there's $8 for shipping. It's like, geez, oh man.
That's not nearly as bad as thinking you're getting a comic for $15 and you find out the shipping is $25 more.
Yeah,
I've seen too many of those. Yeah, they're all coming from England. And I'm like, I have to nope right out of them. And the T-shirts. And yes, when Ted says that these are the softest shirt in your drawer, they are the softest shirt in your drawer. I can find these things with my eyes closed. Almost. If I close my eyes and reach into the drawer, there's a 2 and 3 chance that I'm going. Chance? I tried to say shot and chance at the same time. There's a 2 and 3 chance that I'm going to pull out either this one or my Punchline shirt. There's a 1 in 3 chance I'm going to pull out my Mandy Summers shirt. So hers is also very, very soft. Probably went through the same printer for those. And if you haven't been on Mandy's channel, you should. You'd have a lot of fun with her, and she would love these books. So,
what is the name of her show?
Mandy Summers.
Mandy Summers.
I will hook you up. I will get you the hookup on this because
thank you.
She's a hoot. She got a totally different audience. She has an audience. She has a totally different audience than we have.
Okay.
Because she's really into comics, and she's cute and vivacious, and the crowd loves her, and she draws people there every night.
Cool. Yeah,
the rest. Okay, here we go. Preview pages for this book. That's what I was trying to get down to finally here.
Yeah. So what I was going to say is there's 8 preview pages on the first campaign. I'm still coloring these. So I have 2 of them that are done. So, you kind of get a shot of 2, but, not as far ahead of the game as I was on campaign 1. So I'm coloring these almost as we speak. I was doing some earlier today. So it's coming along though, but I don't want to give away the whole goat by putting them up.
No, of course not. But
goat.
Why? We're just making stuff up tonight. As it goes along. Whatever comes out of our mouths is true at the moment we say it.
Give up the goat.
The ghost. Yeah.
The ghost. I want to give up the ghost.
Oh, so it looks like you're flirting with being canceled here, Ted, because you've got this guy striking a woman that looks like, and that's just a big no-no. But it's okay because you've got your burning dead moment.
I think she got the better of it. What could possibly cause this? You'll have to find out when you.
I was gonna say there's no word balloons to tell us, and it's not in Ramsey's character as we read in the first book. So something is definitely up here with this. So these are the rewards. Finally, I've learned not to even bother going to the right side of the screen because this big stupid screen.
Yeah, you got it right here.
So I go for the big stuff. You can get the PDF, folks, for just $5, or you can get 1 and 2 for $8 and save $2. I know I have a lot of people who come in here who just want the PDFs because you're overseas or you just don't have space in your house for comics anymore, but you still love reading them. This is your tier. If you haven't read the first one, it's perfect. $8, you get 2 comic books. What more could you want? Bloom number 2 with the print, which was the one you just described here. So you pick your A, B, C, or D cover. And of course, you can add on probably anything else in an a la carte system after this. And here's 1 and 2. You get your choice of A, B, C, and D based on available stock. Now, how do they know what's A, B, C, or D for issue 1? Obviously, they were listed.
Yeah, what's nice is I'm using BackerKit now, so when they go to their survey, they'll actually be able to see thumbnails of all 4 covers of issue 1, and they'll just click the one they want. Then they'll see thumbnails of issue 2. Click the one you want. And it's nice and easy peasy.
Perfect. I didn't turn on my light behind me, so I noticed the sun is going down, and I'm disappearing into the dark. So I turned a little light on front. Now I look like a ghost. I'm going to hold a seance of some kind.
You did not give up the ghost.
I did not. I became the ghost.
Yeah, I gave it up and you took it.
Oh, so here's the Regina photo cover. This is $19 because it's limited to 500, and it's going to be autographed by both Alicia Lynn and Ted Sikora, and we had both Alicia Lynn and Ted Sikora on the show together in our archives. You should scroll through everything we got and find that. She's a she's a very lovely person. I'm not saying that looks wise, because she is looks wise, a very lovely person, but she's a nice person. You like talking with her.
All of that. Yep.
Here's the Ultra Soft T-shirt, which your choice of color during the survey, with Bloom number 2, $33. $33 for a comic and a shirt, and your name listed in the shout out and the signed print, and a partridge in a pear tree. It's just
free shipping.
Ted, your levels are always cheap. I don't know how you make any money.
Yeah, maybe I should think about this.
Then the psychedelic poster package. This is the poster for Bloom number 1. One of the issues of Bloom number 1. That thing is just popping. So that's 24 by 36 inches. Now that's huge.
Yeah, it's a nice size, and it's really high quality paper. When I put that tier up on issue 1, I wasn't even sure where I was getting these printed. I was like, all right, I'm going to figure this out. I found an amazing printer, and these things, the color is so vibrant. Sometimes you get something back and it's a little bit dulled or something. It is not that at all. These are really high quality. Everybody who's gotten it so far all the feedback I've gotten has been they love it.
Well, you've got 2 more issues to work on this, so that when you put out the trade paperback for this, because I'm sure you will, there'll be a trade paperback version of this. You can do the Kickstarter. You can get a print version where all the black will be velvet. So that you can hang this up in your room with a black light, because that just looks like it would scream at you with a black light. Because those colors are neon. That's just they're bright.
Yeah, it would look good with a day glow.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That'd be awesome. You're getting this poster with any of A, B, C, or D cover, the signed print, $49. Again, way too cheap. Okay, for everybody that I just said, you want digital, forget the $8 for 2 issues. Get everything they've done for 50. Get the entire Hero Tomorrow library, which will include Bloom 1 and 2. That's 80 pages right there. Apama, the Undiscovered Animal Volume 1 and Volume 2 PDF. That takes you through issue 11, Ted?
Yep.
So that's you're up to date.
Up to date.
Then Tap Dance Killer Volume 1, which is the entire miniseries, and Punchline and the Vaudevillains #1. You will be completely up to date, up through and including the issue we're crowdfunding tonight. So there's not a better deal out there digitally to get everything in your basket. Cover bouquet. Oh, look at this. You can get them all. That's the one. Get all the covers, $55. Did I leave one out, or was it?
No. Well, as the Guru cover is only available at that highest tier, but yeah, you get everything but the Guru cover.
Gotcha. And that is not in this one. So we got to go further down to find the one where you can get the Guru cover with it.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Okay. $72, you can get all that stuff in trade collection, so you can have physical books on your shelf. That's where I am. That's the one I would go to, except I have them all on my shelf. So I don't have the Apama books in trade paperback on my bookshelf, so I've got to dig them out of my long white boxes when I want to reread them, and I do that. This is the every single Hero Tomorrow Comics issue. Now wait a second. How did that differ from here?
It's kind of frozen on my end. I'm still on cover bouquet.
Oh, well, let me.
What's going on?
I see it moving on my end. I will remove it. Did it remove?
Yeah, it's gone now.
Okay, and then I will add it. Now, do you see trade collections and single new issues for 72?
Yes, we do.
Okay. All right, so that's the 72 for the trade collections and the single new issues. 79. Oh, I see the difference. This is, instead of the trades, you get the actual individual floppies.
Yes.
If that's the way you're, if that's your jam, that I like it that way too. Trade paperbacks or floppies, I'm good either way. 1 and 2 cover bouquets, $1.19. $1.19, folks. It's your best deal. You're not going to find it better.
You said I was too cheap to begin with, and then he really discounted me.
Oh, 90% discount. Yeah, $119, but you're getting 13 covers, and I mean, this cover here is still, still gets me. But this is all the. Is this one all the covers now? Does this have the Guru cover?
It's all the Bloom covers.
All the Bloom covers,
it's not the Guru, only not the metal Guru cover. That's the only one that's not.
Oh, the metal one. The metal one, yeah. So that's. And then you got your CGC signature series.
We're frozen. Now we're caught up. We're caught up.
Oh, if you don't want to read the book and you want to just send it in a plastic slab,
you still get the whole cover bouquet in addition to the CGC. So it's, this is, you'll read it just fine.
Oh, I see. So one of these will be in a CGC slab, and you get to pick which one, I'm guessing. Yes,
That's
you do.
Correct.
Of your choice.
In
That's
fact,
cool.
last time I even included the one they slabbed as a reader. So you got, and I'll do that this time too.
So you get 7.
Am I missing a cover there?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Oh, no, we're not. Yeah, right. But you would also get the G cover. If you were slabbing that, you'd still get a loose copy of that as well.
Very cool. Now, how do you know that you're going to get a 9.8 when you send them off, Ted? I mean, do you send them all off and pull the 9.8 out?
I got to look at them with a magnifying glass and pack them real well. Hope nothing happens. Sometimes things happen. But I'm guaranteeing these are 9.8, so I'll send them back as many times as we need to. And
there's, that being the case, there's a very good slim chance that you might get a 9.9 back.
I've never gotten one, and I swear I've sent them perfect books. I mean, even handed them at shows, because before COVID, I wouldn't even mess with the mail. I would just take them right there, because I go through them and find the cleanest copies. You got to do that.
Yeah, I don't know what they find that takes off a decimal point, but they'll find something.
Mm-hmm.
This is the tier where you will be one of the faces on this, and you'll get all these other covers. And then here,
I got to update that. We just finished that little mock-up, the colored version, so I got to.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. And then this is the big kahuna. Okay, this is the $500. All the books, a CGC one, and the metal guru cover. And
I think it's 2 CGCs.
It is 2 CGCs. I saw the one in the image, so I just was going by the
right.
picture.
Oh, yeah. You know what? That's another thing. I should probably put 2 of them in the picture.
I wasn't reading. I was just going by the pictures. I forgot how to be literate here. So, yeah, you get
I need to update.
Yeah, in fact, I'm gonna ignore the pictures because there's a whole lot more here than that. You're getting Bloom #2 cover by Adrian Seibar. Only 15 copies of these are going to be produced in metal, and each one's going to be numbered. So you're going to get like 1 of 15, 2 of 15. You will also get the Bloom #1 cover bouquet, so all of those covers. The Bloom #2 cover bouquet, all of those covers. 2 Regina shirts, the signed print, and your name in the shout outs. So that's a lot. That is a ton of collectability here for $500. And on top of that, you're going to have stretch goals.
Yeah, we're getting there. Yep.
This has already been unlocked.
Let's see. Yep. 200 backers. Right. Yeah, that one's unlocked. Yes. And then
so there's going to be an interior pinup by Pietro.
Yeah.
You're close to the 200 backers right now, aren't you?
We just went over that. So actually, we went over that about an hour and a half ago or so.
Well, there you go. 200 backers. We'll find out what that's going to be. At 7,000, you'll get another interior pinup by Fabio Nayan, whose work I'm not familiar with, so we'll be surprised. And then digital rewards will be given to all the backers at $5 over at the campaign's conclusion. So you're going to get a PDF of this book no matter what you buy, unless, of course, you buy the PDF of everything, in which case you're not going to get 2 copies of the PDF. That wouldn't make sense, would it?
Yeah, I may need to be a little more specific. We're going to have digital, I said rewards. Those are milestone rewards. So like if we do a digital giveaway of, someone else's comic for hitting 200 backers, that's what you'll get. So I'll reword that to make it a little clearer.
And I remember that because I got so many digital comics to read from you in my email the last time you did this campaign. Because you kept hitting stretch goals and I kept getting comics to read, which was very cool. I like that a lot.
Did you get a chance to go through any of those yet?
I have gone through some of them. I've got them all in a folder, but I also get comics every week from other places where it's like, hey, review copies. And they get buried because I don't name them properly. It's whatever they download as. So I'm like, have I read GCOTC #2 yet? And what the heck even is that? I've really got to catalog these things better and give them long names.
It's tricky business.
So yes, you are at the 201 backer mark. So, and I know that Amazon, I know that Kickstarter updates on its own, so I don't have to update the page. I didn't pay attention to what we were when we started. I can almost guarantee you I did nothing for you tonight, but
well, that's all right. We're the middle of campaigns are usually a little slower, and that's we're right there now. But
it's a spike, it's a plateau, and it's a spike.
This is still the fastest we've hit 200 of any of the campaigns we've done. 200 backers, so it's on par to. If we can keep this up, we'll hopefully hit a new high.
That's the other trend, Ted, is when somebody does a campaign and they fund it and they deliver it, the next campaign just magically funds faster and goes higher. It's almost like people realize, oh, he's serious about this, and we get our books.
Hopefully.
Good Lord willing, and the creeks don't rise.
We're doing real well with the production on this one. So what I meant was hopefully they think that, hopefully we'll get it done. I know we'll get it done.
I did a data mining study because I'm a geek. That's what I kind of do, Ted. I work for a bank and I do all this data mining for the bank too. But I went through Kickstarter and Indiegogo campaigns looking at only books that went 2 or more issues of the same title. So I don't care if you've done 5 graphic novels and none of them are interconnected. What have you done sequentially? And it was always the trend that for the most part, your books would, go up. They'd reach a plateau. 2 and 3 would go up. 4 and 5 would kind of plateau. I found some that have gone out as far as 11 issues, crowdfunded only. Miskatonic High, which I backed, and all 10 issues are on their way to me right now in the mail, in fact. So I can't wait to dig into those. Almost without exception, unless you did something to totally piss off your audience, in the way you interacted with them on social media or something, then, there were like a few stragglers at the bottom that, they took a nosedive down and lost half their business. But for the most part, if you fulfill, you get fulfilled back. You make the money. So we've reached the top of the hour. We've talked everything I think we can talk about this issue of Bloom. Is there anything else?
No, I'm really grateful you had me on, and thanks for helping with getting the word out, and really all the kind things you've had to say about our stuff through the years here.
Well, it's quality product. It's easy to talk about quality product. It's just as easy to talk about bad product, I guess, because if it's motivates you to speak. In fact, I'll say this: it's a lot easier to talk about bad product because most people are motivated by that. If you had a bad experience at McDonald's, you'll tell your friends, don't go to that McDonald's. They got my order wrong. They were slow. You have to be really, really good to get people to talk about the good stuff. You can have a good day and not recommend things that you had good happen. You have to have exceptional goodness happen, and that's what I get when I read the Hero Tomorrow comics. It's exceptional goodness, and that's what motivates me to speak about them to people and recommend them. So
thanks so much.
You're quite welcome, and it's completely and totally deserved. So Ted, we hope we will see you again when either Bloom 3 or Punchline 2 is up and running on here. I will get you the information on Mandy Summers' show because I think that you would resonate well with their audience. And they have a complete and total blast on their show as well. And speaking of which, we would like to thank our audience for showing up. We don't have a show without you. And as we do every night, we just hope that you had a blast.